Chia, and today we're here to talk about something that Singaporeans are very, very, very good at buying, okay? Which is houses. And since we're talking about houses, right, we have the hottest property agents here in Singapore. We have the PropertyLimBrothers.
Hello, hi Kim.
Hi, this is Melvin and this is Adrian. And of course, with property, we also need a law firm, right? So here we have Cannis Seng from BR Law Firm.
Hi.
Okay, so at my age now, everyone around me is always talking about when are you going to buy a house?
Definitely, I think a lot of young couples are contemplating between maybe like a BTO or maybe should we go for HDB resale. Of course, you have the other category which are private properties.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But maybe which one would you like to know first? HDB or
maybe,
private
yeah,
properties?
maybe HDBs. So
Okay.
BTO and resale.
Right.
So what's the difference? Which one should I buy?
Sure. Yeah, so there are a few different varying factors, and I think the biggest one is that everybody is contemplating, should I go for the brand new BTO
Yeah.
directly from HDB?
Yes.
Or should I go for the resale market? The first thing to consider will be the level of subsidy. Yeah, so for BTOs, when you buy off the sales launches from government, usually it comes at a subsidized rate. Yeah,
so it's cheaper lah.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Of course, the main thing to note is that you have to wait. Yeah, and the construction period will take basically between 3 to 5 years. And the next thing to note is that that does not count into your minimum occupation period. So after collecting your keys, you have to live in it for another 5 years. So that will mean that when you talk about the next move after your first BTO, it could take up to about 8 to 10 years before you can sell.
Wow.
Yeah. The other option, of course, will be to go for the resale properties. Resale properties, of course, they come in varying ages. It can be properties that are just 5 years old, 10, 15, or maybe up to 30 over years old. So some couples go for resale properties because they want to choose the location.
Yes.
They don't want to wait for the construction period. And maybe they want to buy something that is very near to their parents that BTOs cannot offer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, the downside is that if you go for an older resale flat, you have to spend money to renovate and then put in some renovation costs in cash. The upside nowadays is that even for resale properties, governments are giving quite a fair bit of grants as well.
So is it the same kind of grants for BTO and for resale?
Right,
Different.
so for grants later, Adrian will share a little bit more about grants.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But maybe just a key structure is that for BTOs, there is one form of grant available, which is the enhanced housing grant based on income level.
Okay.
For resale properties, basically there are 3 types of grants that are available. So I think no matter which choice you go for, the key determinant will be based on the factors we mentioned and also the time that you want to wait for a property to be ready. So usually for couples that want to immediately build their dream home, they go for resale. Couples that maybe are okay to wait a little bit, stay with parents for a while, they will go for BTOs, plus planning whether do they want to upgrade to the next property faster or maybe they are not in the rush to upgrade to the next property. Yeah.
I see. Wow, so actually there's a lot of things to consider.
That's right.
Right. So how much of the grants are different? Like how much can I save if I buy a BTO and I buy a resale?
Right.
Right. So, so if you're first-time applicants, there's 3 types of generic grants that's available. So you have the family grants that would cater up to $50,000 of grants depending on the room type of properties that you purchase. Of course, that will entail a 14K income ceiling. So your gross monthly combined income should not exceed 14,000. So that's tier number 1. You have tier number 2, which is the proximity housing grant. This is the grant that would allows applicants to live near their parents or their child. That would cater to 30K housing grant, and that doesn't count into any income ceiling. Lastly, you have the enhanced housing grant. That would entails up to about 80,000. Yeah, 80,000.
That's a lot, so I can plus all the 3 grants together.
Yes, in fact, you plus all the 3 together, you will entails up to about 160,000 if you buy a resale property.
To buy a resale property?
Yes,
actually,
correct.
quite worth it, what?
Yeah, but
Yes.
of course, the 160,000 is the max category.
Yes. Yeah.
It depends on your combined monthly income. Yeah, so if your combined monthly income is more, then I would say the average range is perhaps about 100,000. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Wow,
so-
100,000 is still a lot to buy a house.
Correct. So for BTO properties, there's only one grant that's available, which Melvin has mentioned, is the additional housing grant. That entails up to 80,000 also. and income ceiling of $9,000.
9,000 combined income of 9,000.
Combined income, yes. Yeah, so if there's other permutations like singles or other types of buyers, there's also other grants available to choose from also.
Wow. Okay, so where can we actually look these grants up? Like there's so many, I cannot like possibly memorize all of them.
Actually, all
right?
these are available on HDB website, and
Okay.
the HDB website is actually very comprehensive. They also have a lot of tools and e-services for you to play around, key in your current eligibility conditions. So it's a very helpful platform actually right now, hdb.gov.sg.
Since you're talking about money, right, all the grants and all that,
Right.
the second thing after deciding where you want to buy the house is you have to fork out the down payment, which is how much for BTO and for resale?
Right, so for BTO, it depends whether you want to go for the HDB loan or bank loan. You have a choice. Similarly, for resale, you can also go for HDB or bank loan. Of course, that depends on whether do you want to go for the slightly higher interest rate for the HDB loan, which is at 2.6%. The upside is that it is lock-in because it's usually 0.1% higher than the CPF contribution rate. But for bank loan, of course, there can be changes based on what's happening in the market. But right now, it's of course at an all-time low. It's close to about 1.2%. So we're seeing a lot more couples going for bank loan. The only difference is that if you go for bank loan, you do have to come up with a bit more cash, which is a 5% down payment in cash, and then 20% by CPF. But if you go for HDB loan, technically, if you have sufficient CPF or you use a grant towards the down payment, you don't have to come up with any cash at all. So a lot of young couples that are just starting out work in the market, usually they will go for the HDB loan if they don't want to fork out cash and they want to save some cash for renovation.
That's right. Wow, there's a lot to consider.
It's a lot of varying factors. And,
So wow, if you are out there and you're thinking of actually buying a house, you really need to plan properly. Whether you or not you have like the cash, the down payment. If not, then you go for the HDB loan. Okay.
That's right.
Wow, okay, I learned a lot today. Okay, so just now we were saying, if we do the HDB loan, then we will go with the HDB law firm, is it?
The law experts here.
This part of the query, my personal take before we go there is that if you have the opportunity, from my personal experience, it was through the BTO route. But that does entail some risk. It's because when you go by the BTO route, because things happen, so we see a lot of relationships not lasting the course. So this is also one of those variables. But having made that particular detour, generally speaking, if you take a HDB loan, you don't need to contact me. You basically just have HDB handle the entire transaction for you. But in terms of efficiency of funding, in terms of the interest rates that you pay, most people generally do take private bank loans for even the HDB transaction.
Even for BTOs and everything. Correct. So that's when they come to you for legal advice and everything.
Correct. And that's where we come in and we facilitate the entire transaction.
I see. Okay, so just now you mentioned that maybe some couples will not be able to fulfill the whole cost of before they get the house. Then what happens to the house?
Some of this is statistics. Even after you're married, generally 1 in 2 relationships.
1 in 2?
Yeah.
That's very high.
It's around 50%.
50%.
No, 50%
end up not working out. End up not working out. What we see a lot of is that a lot of units are forfeited. So for HDB BTO, it's not that big of a deal because the deposit amount that is forfeited is minimal. But then you do lose that opportunity. And we do see a lot of instances whereby A and B, they break up, and then A and C, want to continue on with the property.
So you just
in relation to the same property. So a lot of that requires HDB approval, which might not be given lah. Okay, it really depends upon the particulars of the case. Yeah, so a lot of it means that because of this 8 to 10 years, okay, I think from personal experience, I would say you essentially miss out on 2 property cycles. Okay, because we have this saying that every 5 years is potentially 1 property cycle. So if you have to wait 10 years, okay, yes, you do have that very safe bet on having bought that BTO unit. Generally, you will make money, okay, but you have to price in all of these other vagaries of life, you know, of the fact that, you know, if you had put that little nest egg into that private property, you know, then 10 years later, you know, you are looking at a certain appreciation of value. So that is always the conundrum for a young Singaporeans.
I see. Okay. Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah, I didn't expect to go into the topic of, oh no, what if like the couple breaks up and they already bought like a BTO? Honestly, thank you so much. I've learned a lot today about BTO and resales. Yeah, so anything else? Did we miss out on anything?
Yeah, I think most importantly is that it's not that BTO is no good. In fact, I think it is quite guaranteed that the moment you buy a BTO, when you sell it, once you hit your MOP, it will definitely see appreciation because you bought a subsidized rate. I think continuing from Cannis is that you also have to factor in the time that you spend for balloting as well.
Right.
Yeah, because sometimes you might spend 1 to 1.5 years waiting for the right location. So I think it's really about the planning for the opportunity cost, as well as like what Cannis mentioned, the cycle that you want to enter and switch property, because our cycle is actually quite short. Yeah, and in Singapore, our loan tenure is pegged to the base age of 65 years old, less of our current age. So I think there's only like so many rounds that you can go. Yeah, so basically we are for both types of property. It all really depends on your family planning, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you know who to look for when you're going to buy a property, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we'll learn more in the next episode.